guys? How's everyone doing? Hopefully well. The animated emoji on TradingView. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I'm looking a little translucent. I need to talk to like a professional streamer. Someone who can teach me how to figure out what the fuck I'm doing in terms of the technical side of streaming. Like, I feel like my camera could be way better. I've got like a 1080 camera, and this video quality looks terrible. I've got all this shit, and I don't know how to use it properly. So I should try and probably talk to someone who actually knows what they're doing, and maybe they might be able to help me out. Do a little bit better of a job with these fucking streams, because I always seem to have technical difficulties. So, welcome to another episode of Ethereum and Chill with Trader Mayne. Hope you guys are all doing well. Hopefully everyone's having a good weekend. I have a fucking ring light. Look at this shit. Hold on. Boom. Does that help? No, it makes me uglier. Hold on. See, but my lighting is all fucked because of the green screen. I don't really know. Anyways, welcome to another episode of Ethereum and Chill, Trader Mayne. Oh, of course my soundboard's not working. This is what I mean. I'm not getting paid enough for this bullshit. Anyways, hope everyone's having a good weekend. We're obviously having some bullish price action, which is super exciting. So looking forward to talking about some potential trade opportunities that I see for this coming week. As it is Sunday, we have the weekly close happening in a little under 2 hours. So we'll talk about some potential setups that I see, some things like that. And then at the end of the day, we will, see if there's any kind of easy trades that I see forming on Bitcoin and Ethereum. White balance and rekey. Yeah, I need a lot of help, dude. I need a lot of help. Cool. CBS stream. What up? What up, CBS? How you doing? Oh no, CBS with the bear propaganda. Unfortunately, I have to agree with CBS on some of this stuff. We have yet to make any form of, bullish market structure. So we will talk about that because, everyone is excited. Everyone was excited here, and everyone was excited here, and everyone was excited on each of these pumps that ended up being lower highs. So we do have to keep in mind that, until we put in some high time frame bullish market structure, this entire thing can turn around and nuke. So I will try and be as real with you guys as possible in terms of what I think might happen. As usual, these streams are sponsored by Bybit. So shout out to Bybit. Use the link in the description if you want to take advantage of the bonuses that they have going on right now, up to $600 free cash. All you gotta do is click in the link in the description. Click on some of the offers they have available to you. It can be as simple as depositing Bitcoin, making a trade, following them on social media. So help me out by using Bybit. That would be very much appreciated, and using that link in the description. So without further ado, we are going to get into this stream. So here's a problem I'm having, guys. I want Cred to be on the stream, but I can't seem to get him in. Do you vote that we try and get him on again? I tried to send him a Zoom link and the audio was not working. Are you guys willing to be patient and let me try one more time to get him in here, or do we not care? I would like to have Cred on. I was very excited about this, but we got kind of rugged because me being unorganized and not tech savvy, I waited till the last minute to try and get the group chat going, and it didn't work. Should we try? Should we try? My viewership's gonna go to 0 if Cred is not on this video, so. Oh man. I don't know. The people want it. Let's see. Let's see if he answers. Let's see if he answers. I can't make any promises, guys. The problem is on my end. I can hear him, but he can't hear me. So it's not been good. And I don't know if this is going to work. I'm trying on Discord this time. Zoom did not work. The issue was
Did it work?
Can you hear me? Please.
Ay, ay, ay.
You can't hear me, can you?
My dear incompetent friend, I cannot hear you.
Are you sure? What about now? What about now? Please, God. Anything. Anything at all. Anything at all. Nothing, nothing. This is the problem, guys. I can't seem to get my audio to fucking go through to Cred. I think it has something to do with Streamlabs. Nothing. Still nothing. They can hear, you can hear him, but he can't hear me, guys. That's the problem.
Nope, it's fucked, mate. Can't hear a thing. Have a wonderful stream.
All right, sorry,
Kisses.
brother. Guys, I tried. That was Discord. I tried Zoom. I tried Discord. I tried Google Hangouts. The issue is, guys, I think it has something to do with Streamlabs where it fucking owns the microphone because I've made sure that the mic is correct. I made sure that I was on the right mic. So I'm sorry for my incompetence, but we will have to do a video with Cred another day. I think what has to happen is I have to start the chat with Cred first and then start Streamlabs. So I'm sorry, guys. And if you hate me, I understand. But I did my best. I did my best, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. So I'm going to get into it, guys. So we've obviously had this really nice move over the last couple of days. It's looking pretty good. But the question now is this rally sustainable? Is the bottom in? Are we going to see much higher prices? Or is this just another lower high after, a solid couple weeks of, downtrending price action? So basically what I have to do, or what we have to do, is we have to create some levels essentially where we are going to be flipping either bullish or bearish. So that's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to be giving you my kind of plan in terms of, okay, above here, bullish, below here, bearish. For Bitcoin and for Ethereum. The one thing that we have to be careful with, obviously, is getting bullish right into resistance. And that's kind of what's coming up here. So if you were watching CBS's stream, which I watched part of, you're going to see he has kind of similar thoughts, and like this could just be a lower high. We're putting in some bearish divergences up here as well. So we do have to be careful as some of these higher time frames here, on the 4 hour, things like that, we are starting to potentially print some bear divs as we get into kind of the upper part of this range. So I'm going to give you, or the mid part of this range, excuse me. I'm going to give you my plan, what I think is going to happen, and then it's going to be up to you. However you want to take action with this information, that's completely up to you. So what I'm going to do, I'm so sorry, guys, if you're disappointed Cred's not here. I'm so sorry. I really fucked up. This is the yearly open. Okay, so let's start with the highest time frame chart we have here, the weekly. We could go to the monthly, but the monthly doesn't really give us a whole lot to work with here. We've got these long wicks. So you could argue that these long wicks on the monthly, potentially are signaling that there's some buying pressure coming in down at these lows. CBS is cold-blooded Schiller, guys. He was the one who just raided this stream on Twitch. Okay, so there could be an argument to be made there. Going down to the weekly, what is the most bullish thing that we have going on here? Right now, it's actually the fact that this candle might engulf the previous week's candle, right? Where we haven't had that. So the one difference you could say between, any of these rallies, right, and this current one is this current one might print a weekly bullish engulfing candle. So what do I mean by that? That means that it has completely engulfed the previous week's price action. So we had a down candle, and then the up candle in the following week needs to basically, that doesn't make any sense, needs to basically engulf the entire previous week. And that's kind of what we have happening here. So, oh my God. So we kind of have a potential here. We'll find out in about an hour and a half that this is going to be a weekly bullish engulfing candle. That could be a good sign. That is not enough for me to make any sort of trading decision. I can't just be like, oh, it's a weekly bullish engulfing, therefore I'm going to long my longs. I need to see bullish market structure form on some of these higher time frames before I decide whether or not I'm all in on longs. So this is a good sign based on the weekly. What we've kind of done here is just kind of come into these lows and we're holding them for now, right? We've come down into this support area. I don't know why I always like to draw my rectangles when I can use this. Right, we're within this area of PA that is, holding for now this bullish order block, and within the wick down here, we're holding these lows. Okay, so potentially bullish. We'll see. Right now, when we start zooming in, I'm just gonna get all my levels back here real quick to the daily. One thing I want you guys to see here on the daily is that we've yet to put in a higher high relative to some of these highs here. That being said, that could change on today's daily close if we push a little bit higher. But it's all dependent on how you determine what your levels of, kind of highs and lows are. So is this your relevant swing high or is this your relevant swing high? That's up to you to decide. Because for me, what I do see here, at least, right, is this is a swing high. This is a 3 candle swing right here. So we've got our lower candle on each side and our swing point. This is the last swing high, right, that generated the newest low. So you could argue that this is a high, a low, and we're now placing a higher high, and then a higher low would be the expectation of what's next. Some people are going to be looking at this high because they think it's a more relevant high, and we need to close above here, okay, to denote a break in market structure. I've seen a lot of people mark out this high on Twitter and they say, okay, we're close, but we haven't broken and we haven't made a new higher high yet. So that's going to be up to you to decide how you want to determine whether market structure has shifted or not. A good thing that you can use, a good tool that you can use is the line chart. So unfortunately, if you look at the line chart, this still looks quite bearish to me, right? This looks like we're just making lower highs and lower lows, and this is eventually going to be another lower high and lower low. So this can be a good way to kind of take away some of those wicks, take away some of the noise, and just focus on the key swing points here. So there's that swing high that I initially mentioned that we made a higher high then, and then we're right now attempting to make a higher high above here. So first thing I want to see to kind of consider that we are making higher highs and really bullish market structure for me personally is rather than use this swing high or this swing high, is to use the range that we've been talking about for a while here. I think these levels line up super crisp, and this is where I'm like super fucking bullish, right above here. I think we have a ton of confluence in this area being key for the bulls to reclaim before considering much higher prices such as the range high. So if you take this little level right here, this order block, I think this is going to be the test. I think we'll likely get a push up into here, and then I very much expect a pullback probably at least into this area right here. So let's call that 3250 maybe. So the question is, what happens up here? Do we just get a sharp rejection, then a higher low, and then continuation? Or do we kind of just grind through, right? Maybe we get a little bit of a pullback and then we just grind through and then we get a move to the upside. So here's what I'm going to be watching for essentially this coming week for trade setups. Any sort of break and close through of the quarterly open and the mid-range. So you can pick whatever level you like. Personally, I'm going to be using the quarterly open as my bias level. And if we are able to consolidate and hold above what is effectively 35,000, I will be looking to get in longs for a move towards at least here and hopefully higher. I would love to see something like this happen and clear out all these highs, right? So all of these highs that we've been waiting for it to get tested, I would love to see that and then maybe a pullback. But anything can happen. My ideal long scenarios are the following. Either some sort of move up here with very little pullback. So maybe we get a little pullback just to sub 34K, but if we start trading above here and then we give me a setup that I can get in on, I absolutely will, and I'll be targeting this area here. The reason I'm targeting this area is it's an untested bearish order block. So if we're going to clear out all of these highs, to me, this is the most obvious magnet for price. So that puts us around 38,000, 38,500, okay? This would be a scenario that I'd be interested in getting long on. Alternatively, if we do get a pullback from here, I want to assume that this SR flip occurs. So effectively, I want to see this become support, right? So this was resistance here, resistance, resistance. Now I want to see this flip support. So this would be kind of your higher low play, right? Low, high, higher low. And I would be interested in looking for a long here, targeting first here, and then ultimately second target would be here. Okay? So those are the two main long scenarios that I'm working with. Keep in mind, I did not long the lows here. So if you long the lows here and you got long down here, right? Effectively, you're safe at this point. I think you can start bringing up your stop to like here. If your stop was here, right? Below here, below the yearly open, this was your entry somewhere in here. I don't think you want to see us trade below 31,000 again. So I would have my stop brought up to about 31K because I don't think that we should go back there if we're bullish. If we're bullish, I think we should be trading above 31,000 and any pullback should not come all the way back here. Can it? Obviously, yes. It's up to you what you want to do. Would I long this? I don't think I like this long as much as I like a long somewhere in here. But anything is possible. We could come and retest this deviation and then go up again. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. But I personally didn't get long down here. So my two scenarios are a continuation play, meaning we get some sort of move up here and then some sort of break in market structure that I can long. Maybe it's something like this. And then we run a low and then we reclaim it. That would be a long opportunity for me, something like that. Again, targeting this 38K area. The second long scenario that I'm looking at is an SR flip of this. So 32,500, you get your fib out. Get me my fib. This puts us probably right around the 0.382 if I had to guess. There you go, 0.382. So this would be a relatively shallow pullback and then continuation. I would like to see this SR flip hold. Could we come down to the 50? Sure. I don't know if I want us to come all the way down to, you know, the lows here. I don't know if I want the pullback to be that deep. I don't think it should be. I think if this is really bullish, I don't think we should pull back that far. So we'll have to wait and see what happens early this week. But right now, I'm leaning towards looking to buy the dip. Okay, so whether that is a dip that occurs above the quarterly open, so we move above and then I get my pullback to long, or if it's a dip before the quarterly open, these are the two scenarios that I'm looking for to long into 38,000. And this is where I'm getting hesitant, right? And ideally, we get lucky and we get some sort of crazy big move, maybe up into here. That would be amazing. But I don't know. Too early to tell, obviously. But this is, kind of 1, 2, 3, 4. We're working on our 5th green 12-hour candle in a row. And before that, we had 3 in a row before one down candle. So a pullback is coming, in my opinion, or at least a period of consolidation. I don't think we're just going to continue up just like this. I think we will get some sort of pullback, some sort of consolidation before we see continuation here. Okay, so we'll see what happens. The short setup that I'm looking at would be around the same areas of interest. We have a bunch of highs here that have not been run. This high just got run just now. So if we run any of these highs and then break back down, okay, that is going to be the type of short with an entry right there and a stop here that I would be looking for. And I would be trading that back into that SR flip and then potentially looking to flip long. It all depends what it looks like, right? So part of trading is a little bit of experience in just, I don't know, seeing price unfold over and over and over again. I know what I'm looking for. This type of rejection, right? Like if we get a sharp rejection at this level where it's a big wick move up and then it rejects hard and then it starts printing bearish market structure, that's going to be a trigger for me to short. If we come back up here and we just get a little bit of a pullback, but then we start consolidating, to me, that's bullish. So it's a very kind of, it sounds similar, but there's a difference, right? A rejection is going to be something like a swing failure pattern, right? Where it does something like this. That to me, right, is your short, right? There's your break in market structure. That's your entry. That's your stop. You trade it down, okay? And this is your key level here. Whereas what would be a bullish approach to the level is if we came up and we ran the level, but then we started just consolidating at the level, just slightly below the level. Maybe we run a low to the downside. This is going to be different. What is a good example of what I mean? I'll show you. This does not look like a rejection, okay? Not yet. This does not look like a rejection, okay? This looks like bullish consolidation under resistance, and then eventually it broke. So that's what I mean. What a rejection looks like is more like this. More like this, where you have a swing failure pattern, you have a break in market structure, and then it moves away from the level. So the rejection should happen rather quickly. Something like this, right? Where we have a big run above and then a breakdown. Big run above the level and then a breakdown. Whereas the opposite would be this price action. Comes up to the level and then it consolidates underneath it and then it makes a move higher. Right? So those are going to be the two scenarios that I'm watching on the lower time frame as we approach this key level. If we get some sort of move up that then looks right away that it wants to break down, right? I'm going to be looking to short it. But if we move up here and we consolidate under the range EQ, right? And we start consolidating under here, then I'm going to be looking to get long on a run of the lows or a flip of the level. Does that make sense? I know it sounds a little bit confusing, but there's a little bit of a difference in terms of, how a top forms and how continuation looks. And continuation, right, you're going to see these kind of things, right? Continuation, right? Shit like that. That's going to be those kind of continuation patterns that you're going to see. You can kind of put them into those patterns. But hopefully that makes sense. I'm pretty confident, and I said this a few days ago, that we at the very least come and tag the quarterly open. But to me, we're coming into key resistance. We've got a lot of euphoria from the bulls on the timeline. This is going to be the key area to watch. Get above here, 38,000 is coming, right? So above here, 38K. Those are the two long scenarios I'm looking for, right? Consolidate up here, right? Or the pullback setup. And then the short I'm looking for, if this plays out, right, would be some sort of clear breakdown, right, short opportunity running these highs. Okay, and if you zoom in, you will see here, for example, we've got some nice little kind of equal highs right here. This seems like a pretty good target to me and magnet for price right here. So I would not be surprised at all if going into the weekly close early in the week, so within the next few hours, that we run at the very least these highs here. And then we'll see. Okay? So what you're going to want to find out is once the move happens, where is the invalidation for the bulls, right? So if we do this, you have a couple options. You can short up here or you wait. This is the low that generated the move up. If we break down below this low, that is your confirmation short. Okay? So you know how SZ always talks about deviations, right? This is the deviation play. The move up above here, that's the deviation. And then the low that generated the deviation, that is your short trigger. Okay? So that's how you'd play it on the short side. And you could short it right back into here, 32K, 32,500, and then you wait and see. We see what the bulls look like, okay? So hopefully we go up. I would love us to continue to go higher. That being said, the high time frame market structure is absolutely awful still. So until that changes, we have to assume that every move up is a lower high. Every one of these moves so far, right, is just another lower high, lower high, lower high. Is this one different? Maybe. Let's wait and see. But until we start trading above that quarterly open and above this EQ of the range here, I'm just being very cautious. I'm not interested in longing right here. I would rather catch the long a little bit later than long right now into what I believe is going to be key resistance. Okay? So the levels that I'm paying attention to from like a time frame perspective, I would say at least I want to see like an H4. This is a 12-hour chart. So ideally we get like a 12-hour close through here would be bullish confirmation, but you could go down to the H4. Absolutely. But I'm probably going to be looking for my trade setups on the hourly. Okay, so I'm watching the hourly. I've got those equal highs right here that I'm watching, and I'm watching this on the hourly. I want to see what price action looks like up here. Because if we come up here and then we break back down into this range between here and here, I'm looking to short this all the way back down into here. Okay, if we can break out of this range and prove that it's not just a deviation by actually holding above, printing bullish market structure, then I'm interested in longing this to at least 38,000. All right. So let's see. Hopefully that makes sense for everyone. Giving you a couple scenarios to look out for. All right. So keep in mind, delete all your levels, remain unbiased, right? We've just made a lower low here, right? That's a lower low relative to all of these lows. So this could very well come all the way back down. So just be careful. If we do dump and we have some sort of really ugly rejection here, the levels that I'm looking for after here is right here. Okay. So if we get some sort of ugly rejection, right? Range low, yearly open, below the yearly open, I think 24K. All right. So that's your kind of short plan. If we come up here and get some ugly rejection here, I don't think we should trade above 36,000 if we're bearish. If we're bearish, any movement above 36,000 should get rejected quickly. If we consolidate up here, that's bullish, right? So at worst case scenario, right, we get a move up here. Not worst case scenario, but we get a move up here. It deviates above the levels. We get a rejection. You target back into here, right? This is your SR flip. You target the range low. You target the yearly open. Below the yearly open, I think we would see 24K. All right. The bull scenario, like this. Or if we manage to just consolidate here and then get another move up, sure. 38, my bullish levels of interest here, 38K, which is right here. So that's one. The range high, obviously, okay? The most bullish thing that could happen here, in my opinion, if you just look at like the weekly chart, is that we get some sort of huge relief rally up into here. Like if we get some sort of huge relief rally, I don't know if this happens, up into here, I would literally sell everything that I have that is crypto. Because I think up here, this could be that complacency shoulder that everyone wanted. I don't know. Because this is an area that you think would get tested. Like if you're just looking at this on the weekly chart, you would assume, okay, this is the up move that caused the sell-off. Let's see if we test it, make a lower high, and then sell off again. So if we get some sort of big relief rally, the expectation is a lower high up into 48K. Like if we get here, everyone is going to be freaking out that we're going back to all-time high. I'm selling everything that I've bought down here and anything that I didn't get to sell the first time we were up this high. So that would be crazy. Something like that. It's possible. I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen. These are all just educated guesses that we're making, right? So let's wait and see. But personally, I'm being cautious and I'm watching for some sort of move into the quarterly open and into the mid-range. And we got to see. If we're able to get sustained price action up here, by all means, let's target higher. But if it's any sort of kind of deviation above these levels, like this or like this, right, that's going to be bearish. And we're going to short that right back into the ground here, okay? The trend is down for now. The trend is still down, so you have to keep that in mind. All right, so does anyone have any questions? Like a perfect example of what I mean by deviation is exactly this, right? Like this. We came up above the level, rejected immediately, back below it. There's your short trigger, right? Up above the level, rejected, came back. There's your short triggers, price sold off. So that's the kind of thing that you'd be looking for here if this were to happen, right? So if we do trade up here and then back below, that's your deviation. Now you're looking to short any underside test. There's your risk. Short that thing into the ground. Okay, so hopefully that's clear for everyone. We could add on some indicators here. So we are starting to get kind of overbought on some of these lower time frames. So if we make a bear div here, right? So what happens if we do this? Trade up here and then down, and then this makes a lower high. Okay, then you have a bearish divergence here on the H4, and this could use some unwinding anyways. Like even if we are going to go higher, some sort of pullback here, some sort of pullback here just to cool off the RSI, right, before continuation is okay as well, and that could be part of our long trigger. All right, so I'm going to just check the chat real quickly, make sure everyone is understanding what I'm saying, and then we will continue on and we will look at Ethereum. But yeah, you've got to just kind of prepare for every scenario here. Remember that the trend is down. If this is the generational bottom, I'm okay buying above here. Like I'm okay buying 15, 20% off of the bottom. Like if we're going to 100K, I don't really care if I miss the bottom by $5,000. You know what I mean? You have to you have to think of trading and investing differently, right? Like if you're investing, this is important. So let me just try and make sure I articulate this correctly. If you're investing, the price that you buy at, especially if you're buying crypto, it definitely matters, right? Like if you're trying to buy early and in the cycle, you want to buy at the lowest price, right? Your average cost is important, right? If you bought all your Bitcoin at 6K and sold it at 60K, you did a 10x. Whereas if you bought it at 10K and sold it at 60K, you only did a 6x. That's a big difference, right? But when it comes to trading, I don't care as much what the price of the asset is, right? All I care about is where can I get the highest risk reward setup that is confluent with my system. So I'm confident that I have, an expectancy that it's going to work. It's risk adjusted. I know where I'm wrong. I know where I'm right. I know where I want to enter. And what's the risk reward, right? If you have a long from here and your target is here and your stop is here, and let's say it's 2R, your long is 2R, okay? And I long here, but my stop is here and my target is here and my long is 3R. Who had the better trade? Me. So even though you had the lower entry, right? If your risk reward is less than mine, I took the better trade. I got 3R to your 2R. So whatever I risked, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, I made more money than you. So it doesn't really matter what the price of the asset is when you're trading. It doesn't matter if it's going up. It doesn't matter if it's going down. All that you care about is volatility. Is it moving? And can I get a risk-adjusted setup where I can go and get 2 or 3 times the amount I risk? Right? That's all that matters. And so it doesn't matter if you miss this long. If you're a trader, who cares? As long as you get in a long here and you're able to catch your 2R, you did just as good as the guy who got 2R from the bottom. Now, if you're buying Bitcoin because we're going to 100K, this guy obviously got a better entry than this guy, right? So that's the difference. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, I know you guys are going off in the chat a little bit. I'm going to try and get caught up, but hopefully that makes sense because I feel like a lot of people, what's up, SZ? How you doing, man? Yeah, let's get 100 likes on the video. That would be G. I think a lot of people have FOMO about missing the entry, missing the bottom. If you're a trader, you don't give a shit. You do not give a shit. As long as it moves, as long as I can get an entry and get a risk, a 2R or 3R trade out of it, I don't really care what the price is when I enter. Obviously, it's a little different if you're trying to buy at the lowest price possible and sell it at the highest price possible. To me, that's different than trading, right? Trading, it's what is the risk reward of the setup? If a 2R setup from here to here is no different than a 2R setup from here to here. It's the exact same, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if that doesn't make sense in the chat, okay, guys? But we've got to wait and see what happens here in the first couple days of the week. If the high of the week is in early, like if we do something like this on like Monday and Tuesday, I think that's quite bearish because that would be the high of the week, early in the week, probably trade back in. I think what the bulls want to see, to be honest with you, is either a pullback here, like right away, rinse out some of these late bulls, or just consolidate under here. Those would be the two bullish scenarios, right? Quick pullback, rinse some late bulls, and then move up, or just consolidate under resistance. If we're going to be uptrending, consolidating under resistance is bullish, right? But if we move up right away and then reject back below these levels, I think that's bearish, especially if we do it early in the week. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense, guys. I'm trying to instill that in you. Don't worry about not longing here. Like if you're like me and you're a trader, it does not matter where you get your long in. If I can get a 2R from here to here, and this guy longed here, but he's only going to get to 2R by here as well, we made the same amount of money. assuming that the risk is the same. Okay? So let me just go through the chat real quick here, guys. Everyone looking to sell there, bro. How are you going to get there? Thank you for understanding. No problem. Most likely haven't. Thoughts about Rune? Rune, listen, I loved Rune. I owned a lot of Rune during the bull run. I'm no longer, as bullish on Rune until they figure out what the fuck's going on. They had 2 hacks in like 2 weeks, back-to-back weeks. They got exploited. Price fucking nuked. I still have a bag of Rune. I bought some Rune on the dip. But I by no means am as confident in it until they get that shit sorted. But I mean, I've been in Rune since it was under $3, so and I've made a bunch of money on it, so it's not the end of the world. I have a moon bag, but yeah, I think it's kind of crazy. They got to figure that out. Would you also short after selling it all at 48K? I mean, it depends what happens up there, right? If we come up here and we reject, then yeah, absolutely. Get in your shorts. I love you, Senpan. What are your end of the year Bitcoin expectations? I don't really do those kind of things. I don't really make predictions like that because I have no fucking clue where Bitcoin's gonna be in 5 months. No idea. A week back, our man said he doesn't look at RSI. What's the next moon cycles? I know how to use RSI. I'm just sharing it because I know some of you guys look at it. Bottom is in. Okay, I hope you're right. CLV, goodbye. I have no idea what that is. It could go up, down, and sideways. Yes, welcome to trading. You're a genius. Thanks, Cozy. Mayne said it can go up, down. It can go up and it might go down. Yes. Will altcoins rally with Bitcoin during a relief rally or after a Bitcoin top? I mean, I don't know, bro. Bitcoin's already topped. What are you talking about? What do you think this is? Ideally, right, what you want to see is if Bitcoin rallies here, you'll likely see alts versus USD rally, right? But you will not see alts versus BTC rally. You're likely going to see alts versus BTC sell off, right? Because Bitcoin dominance, right, is looking kind of strong. Remember when I drew this? I don't even remember when I drew this, but I said I think we're going to see Bitcoin dominance push up, and you can see it's starting to do that. So if this happens on Bitcoin dominance, if Bitcoin rallies, you're likely going to see alt USD pairs rally, but less. There will be some that outperform, but most will underperform. And you'll see alt BTC pairs likely bleed out further. Okay? I'm going to be releasing my altcoin videos this week, guys. Better wait for confirmation, put on more size than going early and getting wrecked. True. You just said you would sell at 48K. I don't know what you're referring to. Do you use stop losses or manual invalidations? It depends. If I'm trading actively in the session, like I might wait and see because price could run my level, right? But then break right back down. So I'll manually invalidate it. But if I'm not on screen, absolutely, I use hard stops. Could you expand a bit on your Discord comments about SFPs in line with the trend versus against the trend? Sure. Price moves in 3 distinct environments, okay? Price either goes up, right, down, or sideways. So if you're trading swing failure patterns as a means to enter trades or something like that, what you want to do is know the trading environment that you're in. If we're in a range, a swing failure pattern at the bottom of the range, right, could be a long opportunity to trade back into the top, and then a swing failure pattern at the top could be an opportunity to trade back to the bottom. But if we're trending upwards, right? If we're in an uptrend, some swing failure pattern that happens on the upside, right? Or in here, a bearish SFP, right, is counter the trend. So it's less likely to play out and it's less likely to be as relevant. Whereas in an uptrend, what you actually want to be doing is looking for, swing failure patterns to the downside to actually get long and be in continuation with the trend. And the obvious reverse would be true with a downtrend, right? If we're trending down, what I want to do is short bearish swing failure patterns because they're going to be in line with the trend. A bullish swing failure pattern's in line with the trend. A bearish swing failure pattern's in line with the trend. Doesn't mean you can't long a bullish swing failure pattern in a downtrend. It's just less likely and you're going to be counter trend. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense for you there, bud. Okay. What is my neck workout routine? Deadlifts, squats, bench press, overhead press. Talk about my fave alts. I don't really like altcoins right now. I don't really have favorite altcoins. I'm not that type of guy. I'm not going to be Moon Carl or BitBoy on Twitter being like, yo, dude, trust me, buy this alt. The problem with altcoins is they have extremely strong communities. Those communities are generally formed because there are massive amounts of bag holders. So a bunch of people who bought the alt and then maybe made money or lost a bunch of money or are down tremendously, and therefore they are community members now, aka bag holders. I hate the cult-like attitude that people have around altcoins. I trade to make money. I don't really care what any of these coins do. I don't care if they're gonna revolutionize whatever. I think the value of a fundamentally strong alt is that when it rallies hard. And then when the bear market comes, it has the ability to rally back, right? A lot of coins that you saw in this most recent bull run, a lot of them that are not fundamentally strong, they're true shit coins, will not recover from a 90 to 95% drawdown. But a coin like Ethereum, right, because it has value, it's a fundamentally strong coin, it will go down 90, 95% and still be able to recover and make new all-time highs. You look at Litecoin, which I made a terrible bet on, as a perfect example, right? It has no use case anymore. It's essentially a dead coin. And it wasn't, even though it went up 4 or 5x in the bull run, it absolutely underperformed the rest of the market. It failed to make new all-time highs, or barely made a new all-time high, right? So that's, to me, the value of a fundamentally strong altcoin, right? Will it be able to recover? Because even Ethereum, the strongest altcoin, right, went down 90% in the bear market, but it recovered, right, in the bull and ended up doing a 20 plus X, right, a 25X or whatever it was. Okay, so that to me makes sense, looking at alts from that perspective. But I don't really have a favorite altcoin. I like Rune because I think what Rune is doing is kind of cool. And I do think that there's a place for that in the future, kind of crypto sphere. But I'm not like some fanboy who's going to, die on the hill. I'm here to make money, right? I'm here to make money. And if it looks good and their fundamentals line up with the TA, then I'll fucking long it. But I'm not just going to buy something because I think it's the future of money if it's in a downtrend. I'm going to wait. So I'm much more of a trader when it comes to crypto than I am an investor, looking for the next altcoin that's going to take over the world. And maybe I'll underperform some guy who just went all in on Rune at 20 cents. But hopefully that guy had the bill, actually sold it when it went to $20 as opposed to hold it all the way back down to $3, right? So I don't really look at altcoins the same way as a lot of people on YouTube and Twitter do. I think that it's a very easy way to grow an audience. It's a very easy way to get engagement, is to just be a bull-tard on altcoins. You look at some of these people, they're bull-tards on altcoins. Everything's going up. They look like a genius. As soon as the market rolls over and all of a sudden altcoins are down 70%, they're still telling you to buy the dip. It's like, bro, with what money? I'm fucking broke now. So that is not the type of analysis that I do. So I'm sorry if that's what you're looking for. But yeah. If you're trading account of 10K, what leverage would you use on perps? Leverage is irrelevant. All that matters is your position size. So if you have a 10K account, right, make sure that you're not risking more than 2 to 3% per trade, right? And then put that in the calculator on whatever exchange that you're trading on and go from there, right? Leverage is irrelevant. Cred is not going to be here, bro. Sorry. I fucked up the planning and I wasn't able to get him on video in time. I'm sorry. EIP 1559, August 4th, sell the news. I mean, I think you look at the chart and you make that decision as opposed to the event, right? I think we look at the chart and we see how it reacts into this upcoming resistance and then we make a decision. What if it goes to 45K and then doesn't go to 48K? I don't know, bro. Then I'll see what happens, right? I don't know. Maybe it does only go here, right? Like this is also a good area of interest. This low, like 45K. If we come up here, right, and then break back down, I think you short the shit out of that because it would just be a massive lower high, right? But I think any rally out of here, the expectation has to be that it's into a lower high. Because the trend is down, right? Lower highs, lower lows, the trend is down. So you assume that's a lower high. And then if price shows you something different by maintaining bullish market structure, then you remain bullish, right? Do you ever ask yourself what is the meaning of all this? Every night before bed, every morning when I first wake up. I don't look at volume. So you tell me, is the volume good? The consolidation at resistance is bloody painful, feels heavy FOMO, and cut about missing the move. All coins have been getting rinsed. Everybody planning to sell at higher levels, don't think we get there. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, we could, that's why I'm being cautious, right? Because the trend is down. We might come up here. We might come up to here. We might come up to here. We might just die from here, right? So that's why you have to have a plan for key levels where I'm looking for trades at. I always tell you guys this, right? You need to have key levels where you're looking to do business, and then you watch price at those levels. If price is not at one of your levels, you don't do anything. When it gets to one of your levels, that's when you start paying attention and you start decision making, right? The problem with just saying the bottom is in is what happens if we do this? Are you gonna, and you longed here, are you just gonna hold all the way back down here and completely round trip your entries back to here? Right? What do you have a plan, right? If you say, hey, fuck it, the bottom is in, I went all in here, well, you still have to have an invalidation. Where's that idea wrong, right? Because if you caught a 20% move and then round trip the entire thing, you're going to be pretty pissed. So have levels of interest. Even if you think the bottom is in here, pay attention to what happens here. Because if we get some sort of gross rejection here, it's a good chance the bottom might not be in, right? And maybe you want to lock in some of those gains. But this is all I've taught you guys over the past weeks, right? Here's how to find key levels to where price might react. And then now you have levels where you can pay attention to, take profits, look for trade setups. The rest is easy. Why did you change your bias, longing at the range low and shorting at the range high after the previous weekly close? The reason I didn't long here is because we broke below the range low and I thought maybe we were going to get a sharper move down. But if you watched my video from last week, this is exactly what I thought was going to happen. I just thought it was going to go a little lower. So last week I outlined two long scenarios for you guys. I said a run of either of these lows would be a long setup, right? I said if we run down here and then reclaim, that's a long. If we run both of them and then reclaim, that's a long. But we ran the low, but I didn't get a setup here. We ran the low and this kind of reversed. I didn't get a setup that fit my strategy, So I like to trade on the 1 hour, and we traded below here. I probably could have tried to hunt along down here, but once we closed back through here, I should have just longed or longed within this consolidation, but I didn't. I was just getting back from my trip, so I wasn't fully locked in at this point. But we got the setup that I was looking for, right? A move below the low and then a reclaim. We just didn't get that perfect, kind of, I wanted something like this, right? Where I got a cleaner entry, and we didn't really get that. So I just missed it. But that was the exact plan from last video. If you go watch, it was running one of those two lows and then looking to get long. Okay. I'm so far behind on the chat, guys. I'm sorry. Trader Mayne, peux-tu réexpliquer rapidement le SFP, s'il vous plaît? I like how you wrote that all in French and then you just put please at the end instead of s'il vous plaît. Okay, so I'm going to check this chat for a sec here. Yeah, I'm going to talk about F now. All right, guys? I'm so far behind on the chat. I'm sorry, guys. I guess the problem is y'all start messaging at the same time, and then it just gets way too hectic. Okay, so let's talk about Ethereum. I think Bitcoin is pretty straightforward. Everyone has a good plan. We're getting that exact push up that I talked about. So we're definitely going to come in and interact with this area and price. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we get some sort of reaction here as we push up going into the weekly close. Of course I speak French. I'm from Canada. All right, let's look at Ethereum. So Ethereum, we've been watching this range. We came right into the range low, tapped it, and then we've pushed up, and it looks like we're going to be pushing up through this area. So I'd mark this area as resistance. We've come up, rejected a little bit, but it looks like we're going to get another push on Ethereum here. So very similar to Bitcoin. I think the target on Ethereum here is the quarterly open. I think if Bitcoin pushes a little higher, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ethereum get another push up into here, right? And then this is going to be your decision point for Ethereum. Very, very similar to Bitcoin. Are we going to be able to flip the quarterly open, flip the EQ of the range? If so, Jesus Christ, my lisp is spilling out here. Do I want to check Cred's notes for the stream tonight? Why, did he post them? I was supposed to go on mainstream to talk markets, but got scammed. Makes sense. My plan about this BTC range. All right, let's see. Hold on. I'm going to bring this over here. Okay, here's Cred's notes, guys. Zoom out and mark it in a 10-week range. Top side break. Failed, bottom side break, failed, price now near balance, which is the worst RR. So what he's saying is essentially similar to what I'm saying, right? We're in a range. So I'll try and replicate what he's talking about here on my chart. Okay? So he's saying we're in a range for the last 10 weeks. Okay? Top side break failed. Bottom side break failed, and he says now we're in a balance, which is the worst RR, and I agree. We're effectively approaching the EQ of the range, so understandably it's the worst RR here. Let's just get back to his notes here. Okay. Buy support, sell resistance, either outrightly fade at the level or after failed acceptance through a boundary. Current setup is a failed acceptance through boundary. Generally, your target is the other side of the range, 38 to 40K. So what he's saying is we failed to stay below here. Okay, so we failed to break down below the range. We broke down, we reclaimed, so you target the other side of the range, which is effectively the mirror of this setup here. We failed to break through the top side, so you target the other side. So Cred is targeting essentially 38 to 40K, which is the same levels I had here for a break of the upside of the range, right? This is your 38K level, 40K being the top of the range. So very similar idea to Cred here. Mirror setup, failed break into a failed breakdown, not exactly decisive. Market was drifting, flat, not many catalysts. Almeida put in a bottom. Market was sensitive to catalysts in either direction. Double fakeouts are rare, so a close through the range will likely be decisive. Above 45 to 50K, below 14K to 20K. Inferring a new all-time high, dead forever, based on this range is dumb. It can break out and you can still reasonably decrease your exposure at 40 to 45K or increase it at 14 to 20. Shorter term, you want to see funding stay negative, become more negative, price goes up. That's the prerequisite for a juicy short squeeze. But broadly speaking, you don't want to see a significant derivative premium come back at resistance. So effectively, what Cred is saying is we failed to break down here. Let's target the range high. He does not think that we will have a second fake out of the range high. He thinks if we come back up here and break out, the target would be 45K, which is that area that I showed you guys over here, right? So back into here. Cred's just doing my job for me. Or 50K up into here. Right? Very similar to the areas that I had. So he's effectively saying, okay, fake out here, target here. If we break out of the range, here and here is where he thinks we're going. And he thinks decreasing your exposure, similar to what I said, if we test 48K, sell all your shit, is a good idea because we could absolutely put in a lower high. It doesn't mean that if we break out of the range, we're going to 50K. He has much more aggressive downside targets. So the exact same logic here applies. He does not think that we'll have a second fake out of the lows. So if we come back to the lows, he thinks we'll have a decisive break to the downside. He's targeting 14K and 20K as areas where he wants to add back exposure. I imagine he got those levels from previous all-time high. Okay, and then the top of this rally as well. That would be your 14, 20K break. So Cred is essentially saying the target is here. Assuming this was a fake breakout, if we break above the range here and here, decrease exposure. If we break back down, we go here and here. That's where you increase exposure. He says if we want to see a big short squeeze, we need to see funding stay negative, right? Which means shorts are paying to stay short. And you don't want to see derivatives get far ahead of spot, right? You want this to be a spot-driven rally. So if you look at the price on Coinbase or BTC USDT versus the price of the BTC perp, you want to see the spot and perp be relatively close, or even better, spot leading. If we come up into our resistance here at the EQ of the range and derivatives start going ham, right? That's telling you that a bunch of leveraged gorillas are trying to long the breakout, and that's a recipe for a potential, dump. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Just going through Cred's notes there. But yeah, I think we're very similar. Similar thoughts here, and it's unfortunate that he couldn't come on himself and read that out in the eloquent way that he does, because I am technologically inept and I was unable to figure out how to get him on the stream. So I'm sorry for everyone for that terrible, terrible loss. Okay, so Ethereum, exact same plan as on Bitcoin, right? I think hopefully we get a little bit of another push up here into the quarterly open, into the EQ of the range. If we're able to flip this area, right, I'm looking to long towards 3K, right? Here's some highs that I think I would target right here. If we are unable, right, break up, break back down, this becomes just another deviation, just like this. I'm looking to short this back into the lows. Very similar to Bitcoin. We could see a buy the dip opportunity on Ethereum. I would say that's probably right around here, right around 2K. If we get a pullback here early in the week, I think I would take a stab at a long up into here. All right, but we've got to wait and see. We've got the weekly close coming in just under an hour. So we'll have to wait and see how this candle closes. Someone's saying an SFP, the candle has not closed yet. It closes in 1 hour. All right, so that's Ethereum done. That's Bitcoin done. I think it's pretty straightforward plan. We're looking for a move up into the quarterly open on each. So one more leg up, and then let's see what happens. Consolidate, bullish, flip it, long it. If we get some sort of move up here and it's quick and then it breaks down, right? I'm looking to short this thing. It is not an SFP because the candle has not closed, guys. Sure, I'll go over LTC. I don't know why you want to. It's fucking the worst coin in the world. Oh, fuck. Fuck. First week back in the gym after vacation, and I've lost all my gains. Right? This is not a swing failure pattern, guys. The candle is not closed. If the candle closed like this, technically, yes, it would be an SFP. Right? This is an SFP. This technically is an SFP. This is a SFP, right? This is a swing failure pattern. So we got to wait and see the candle close. All right. 20K is a fake level that traps people. 14K is the real level. I don't disagree. So you think 45, Tristan thinks 45K and then down. So Trader Tristan thinks we do like this. Possible for sure. Possible for sure. I think if we do rally up here, very good chance that this becomes a lower high. I'd be very surprised if we just went straight to all-time high, but who fucking knows? Who fucking knows? Yeah, one thing you wanted to pay attention to, right, was the Almeida tweet. It's a good thing that Cred brought up there, right? When we were trading below the range low here, Sam Trabucco was like, hey, we're buying here. I mean, he basically gave you the free trade. I wasn't paying attention enough, but you should have that kind of guy on notifications. Okay, so let's see here. We'll take a look at LTC. I don't know why, but I will. Coinbase is leading by quite a bit. Does that mean that rally is spot driven? If Coinbase is trading above the perps, that would be spot is leading. Yes, if the perps are trading above Coinbase, right, that means that derivatives are leading. Thanks, Mayne. Can you expand on what Craig pointed above about the difference between spot derivatives and how to check when leverage is going through the roof? You want to look at things like funding, and you want to look at the premium between spot and derivative exchanges and pairs. Sam Tabasco, that's what it is, yeah. Okay. 23% of people in Canada speak French. Well, I guess I'm part of the 23%. What is my favorite restaurant? Fuck, I don't know. Anywhere that makes a good steak. I'm pretty sure Litecoin is dead, bro, but I'll look at it anyways. Litecoin is the worst trade I made in this last run because I made money on it, but I significantly underperformed F. Right? Like, this doesn't look fucking good at all. Like, you look at Ethereum, right? This is what you want to see. right? Not this. Not just barely eking out above the previous all-time high. So Litecoin, listen, you have a key monthly SR level effectively like right here. So as long as we're holding above there, I guess you could argue that you're looking for a reason to be bullish. Right? So there's your kind of move below that low, that reclaim. So you could have a good long coming up here on Litecoin. If Bitcoin continues to behave. But why would you long Litecoin when LTC BTC looks like this? Right? So if this looks like shit, this looks like it wants to roll over. Right? This looks like it wants to roll over. And if this is going to roll over, why would you long Litecoin? Because if this makes a lower low and then Bitcoin goes up, Litecoin USD is also going to go up, but it's going to go up by less. So you're better off just longing Bitcoin. Better off just longing Bitcoin. This chart looks like AIDS. Like this was the bull run for Litecoin. Litecoin underperformed Bitcoin essentially the entire bull run. There's barely any point in time in 2020, very few instances outside of a couple of weeks where LTC actually outperformed Bitcoin. This looks like it wants to make potentially a lower low. And if that happens, you're better off just longing Bitcoin, right? That's what this chart represents, Litecoin versus Bitcoin. So as much as Litecoin might be getting mimbly-wimbly or whatever it's called, if this makes a lower low, your money is better off just being in Bitcoin itself. Bro, nobody in Canada speaks French. Well, I live in Canada and I speak French, so what do you think about AMP? I have no thoughts about AMP. I don't know what it is or what it does. You trade and get profits in BTC and ETH or take profits into USD? So great question. So generally, when I'm trading in a bull market, I'm stacking sats, right? I want to earn more Bitcoin and more Ethereum. Those are generally going to be the two ways that I base my portfolio. In a bear market, you want to stack USD because if the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum is going down, the more USD you have and the lower those prices get, the more your buying power becomes. And then in the flip side, in the bull run, right, you want to stack Ethereum and BTC because if you're longing and getting paid in ETH or BTC, you're getting paid in an asset that is also appreciating. So if we're in a downtrend, you want to stack USD. If you're in an uptrend, you want to stack sats. What do you think about semen retention and keystring? Semen retention, I believe in it. I do think that there is value in not just fucking blowing your load all the fucking time. You have more energy. You're going to be more social. You're going to be more willing to want to go and talk to women because you fucking didn't just jerk off 5 minutes before you went to the bar. I don't know what keystring is. It sounds like something to do with your butt, and that's gross. You're bullish on the fundamentals of Litecoin. Good luck, sir. Solana BTC, sure. So, I mean, the risk with a lot of these, alt USD pairs is they're looking kind of potentially shitty, right? Lower highs, and here's your floor, right? So how does this resolve? You tell me, right? What you want to pay attention to is this, right? If this rallies up, a lot of these alt USD pairs, or alt BTC pairs, a lot of these, lower high, eventually gonna shit the bed, right? So Bitcoin could go up and all of these could break down, and that means that this will go up, but it will go up less than Bitcoin. Why do the Bitfinex longs chart barely move? Well, that would be probably because not many longs have been added. I mean, longs are literally at all-time high on here. So shorts are low. Near all-time low. Most people say F, but others say ETH. Correct. Nobody in Canada speaks French. My buddy's dad is Canadian and only speaks French. Well, he could live in Quebec. In spite of good advice, I still managed to get back gains. I'm giving my hodl bags to Zort AI Algo bot to run F and BT spot trades. Fingers crossed it continues to outperform the market. Hope so, brother. Always feel more tired after blowing a load. There you go. Can you please check sand? Sure. So this is, my understanding is this is like similar to Axie Infinity, right? I mean, here's what you hope doesn't happen, right? Is like this. Right? Like you hope like this looked very similar, right? Like, oh shit, like this just rallied right back to all-time high. We're good to go. We're going way higher. And then this obviously ended horribly, right? So you hope something like this doesn't happen to Toll Sand here. But yeah, I mean, obviously if you were long on this thing during this run, it's been awesome. It's outperformed most of the market outside of Axie Infinity. This would be a level I would watch. Probably want to stay above there. Right? And you can see, so I marked that level from over here. So look, level comes from the weekly. And when you zoom in, you can see how relevant it is here. Consolidate at the level, broke down, resistance, resistance. So if it can hold above this 68 cent level, I don't see why it can't go make a new all-time high. But that would be the level of interest I would watch. I wouldn't really want to see it get back below here. If it gets back below here, I think you could short this thing. But long as it's holding above there, I think it's okay. Let's look at the other one. I literally shorted this thing here and like closed it here, and then I tried to short it again like here. I shorted this. I shorted this, and then I fell asleep without putting a stop on. I woke up and it was like here. I closed it manually, and then like the next day it went up like 100%. This chart is just unfucking believable. If Bitcoin keeps pushing up, right, there's our big push. We're pushing into the quarterly open here, coming right now. So if this keeps pushing up, if Bitcoin keeps pushing up, I wouldn't bet against this thing to keep going. I mean, this thing's been absolutely bonkers. My understanding is there's a bit of a natural bid with this as well because of the game, which is super cool. I mean, if you long this thing down here, right, definitely take some profits. But if Bitcoin's going to rip higher, I don't see why this wouldn't continue to go higher as well. But yeah, I mean, if you made money, right, don't be afraid to lock in some gains. This thing's gone on a crazy run. Everything is in a downtrend, and this thing did like a 5x, a 10x, whatever. Take some fucking money off the table. Don't be stupid. There's no reason for me to get short on this thing yet. Especially if Bitcoin's going to keep pushing. If Bitcoin's going to go up, this thing's going to go up. But yeah, fucking nuts. I'm glad I didn't get absolutely blown the fuck out on that short. But yeah, this thing looks crazy. Looks crazy. So yeah, Bitcoin coming into our level here. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're about to have 5 green dailies in a row. We have not had that in a long ass fucking time. So I would not be surprised if we see a pullback soon. But let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. No, I'm not trying to short some low time frame. Like this, you guys were talking about this being an SFP. Look at it now. You have to wait for the candle to close. Right? It's counter trend, right? This was an SFP. I talked about this earlier, right? This was an SFP. This is an SFP. This was an SFP. But notice how we kept trading up? Because these are bearish SFPs in an uptrend. What you want to be looking for are bullish SFPs. Bullish SFPs, right? That's what you want to be trading. Here. So this is a bearish 1 hour SFP. Basically nothing happened. But look what happened on the bull side. Where is it? Here. Look at the trade that gave you. Because this is with the trend, right? With the trend. With the trend. Again, with the trend. When you're trading against the trend, those SFPs don't work as well. It's not as easy as just seeing an SFP and shorting. Man, how much BTC do you need to deposit to get the $600 bonus? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I don't think it's much. Click the link in the description and it will tell you. It's up to 600 bucks. You don't get 600 bucks for just depositing some Bitcoin. There's a bunch of different things that you can do that give you money, and I think the total amount you can get by doing them all is 600 bucks. One of them is depositing. One of them is making a trade. One of them is following Bybit on social media. Yeah, bullish on fundamentals, aka holding a bag and down horrendous. Exactly. Are we going to get a short squeeze? What do you think has been happening here, my man? We're up fucking almost 20% off the lows. If you had a long open for 29K, would you sell or hedge? I would definitely take profit on some of it into here. Absolutely. But yeah, this is going to pull back eventually, and if it's going to pull back hard, I think it's from this area. So I would definitely take some profit, but you don't need to close it. And if you're confident that you caught the bottom, fucking move your stop to break even and let it ride, right? Isn't BTC dominance chart somewhat misleading because of an infinite amount of new coins that are created and skew the dominance to the downside? So yes, BTC dominance is never going to reach levels that it did previously, right? Like we're never going to get back to way up here because of all the new coins and shit that exist, but it doesn't mean that you can't pay attention to it. This was alt season. You want to know where ETH went from 2K to 4K? Right here. Right? This is the Bitcoin. This is the top on Bitcoin here. But when BTC dominance was eating a dick, we had like 3 months, like February, March, April, May. We had altcoins going crazy. Look at the BTC dominance chart, right? Where was alt season last time? Look at what BTC dominance did during those alt seasons, right? So it's still relevant. We're never going to get back to where we were likely because of all those new coins. I agree with that. There you go, 35K. So we're basically tagging the quarterly open right now. Nice. Hey, Mayne, can I make an NFT of you? Sure, if you want to. How many years have you been trading seriously? Like maybe 5. Been involved in the markets for almost 8, but didn't really know what I was doing when I started. You ever jump on new coins or prefer to stick with established coins with a trading history? I mean, I should jump on new coins. Look at what happened. I decided to stick with LTC and I underperformed most of the market. I think if you can catch good projects early, Sushi, Dot, some Rune, like so many of these coins that were newer this cycle that had a bunch of bullish fundamentals, uni and shit like that. I missed so much on DeFi and shit. So yeah, definitely regret being so heavily weighted in Litecoin and not as heavily weighted in Ethereum and things like that. I think what you need to do is find ecosystems that you like and then make a few strategic bets in each of them. But I'm a little bit different. Like I've made, life-changing money trading. I'm also older, right? I'm 31. I have no interest in gambling my entire net worth on something anymore. I would rather protect what I have and make some strategic bets with a portion of my portfolio that I'm willing to gamble with, as opposed to run the risk of ruin. There's no situation where I want to be able to lose what I've built. I'm not interested in that. Whereas if, I'm 31, I don't want the reset. If you're 22, and you go broke, you got a lot of time to, make it back. I'm not really as interested in that anymore. I went through that gambling phase or higher risk phase, I guess you could say. My risk tolerance is definitely a lot lower than it used to be based on how old I am and how much money I've made. And I don't want to give it back, right? I don't want to give it back. It's like Sandbox is bigger than Axie. It's a blockchain-based Roblox. That sounds cool, man. How do you choose whether to put a line at the open or close on weekly and daily levels? Well, that depends. What do you want to mark? Do you want the daily close or the weekly close? Right? Do you want the daily open or the daily close? They're different levels. What do you think of Uniswap versus SushiSwap? I have no fucking clue. Yeah, look at that. Right before the close, we might get that. We're getting the move above the quarterly open. Canada's still wild with COVID restrictions. It's not that bad right now, but I am worried that it's going to get worse again. Are you trading 1-hour SFPs or 12-hour SFPs? You can trade both. They don't have to be mutually exclusive. The advice that I'm giving you is to trade SFPs that are in line with the trend. All right, guys, we've got 450 people watching and we've got 207 likes. Let's pump those numbers up. Do you have any exotic pets like tarantulas? No, absolutely not. Why the fuck would I ever want a spider? What tablet do you use to draw? What are you talking about? I don't draw. I have an iPad though. Missed the early part of the stream. Any triggers that will make you consider shorting the anticipation of the dip? Now, I want to see how we react up here. So we're doing exactly what I said, guys. At the start of the stream, we were trading here. I said I expect to move up into here. So this is the area that we're watching now. Right? Let's see what price does up here. Where we ran these highs. Remember those highs I marked? We just ran them. Trader Mayne is a legend. Thank you, bro. Don't miss the next Ave Gotchi next. Yeah. Am I eyeing any new coins? No. Again, I'm not the type of guy, YouTuber guys or Twitter guy that is like going to be shilling you coins. Like altcoins have been getting smoked for the last several months. I'm not telling you, I'm not being like, don't worry, this is the next hot altcoin. Like if Bitcoin breaks down from here and goes to 20K, a lot of altcoins are going to go down like another fucking 50 or 60%. So you have to be prepared for that. So I have no interest in shilling you altcoins. Have you published a Bybit how to use video? I have not. Maybe that's a good idea if that's something you guys would want to see. Why not just dollar cost average into Bitcoin long term and call it a day? You can absolutely do that, right? There's many ways to skin the cat, bro. Let's assume that the downtrend is not done and Bitcoin is going to trade to 40,000 to 20,000. Why would I want to scale in now then if it's going to go down another 15,000 per Bitcoin? Right? It's all up to you what you want to do. I actively manage my portfolio, but if you're just like a long-term holder, I talk about this all the time. If you're a long-term holder of crypto, this is the chart you look at. You say, okay, every bull run we've had, we've dropped like 80 to 85% off of the previous high to the next cycle low. Right? So here, this bull run, we dropped 86%. This one, 83%. So if this is just another bull run, why not just wait for this to drop way the fuck lower? Right? You could average in here, but what happens if we go down to like 12K? Aren't you going to be pissed? Or maybe you don't care. Maybe your time horizon is years. And you know that eventually, even if we go down here, that will end up here. Then who fucking cares? I mean, it's all up to you. You need to make your own decisions. I'm not here to tell you what to do. But for me personally, if I think something can drop another 20, 30, 40%, I'm not going to buy it yet. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for confirmation. If this was the bottom and we're going to 100K, I have no problem buying 20% off the bottom. Right? No problem. No different than back here. When this was the bottom, right? You had to have huge balls to just buy here, right? But once we started making bullish market structure, okay, now I'm getting involved. Did I miss the bottom? Sure. But I still did a 10x to the top. So I don't really care. Okay. We'll keep this going until the close, and then I'm going to end it, guys. But yeah, pushing up just like I thought. Probably coming, looks like it wants to at least maybe even run this high now. It's a pretty strong move. What are the order blocks you always talk about? Go watch some of my old videos, dog. What's up, road tripper? Yeah, we're definitely closing as a bullish engulfing on the weekly. Monthly chart just flipped green because we're above the quarterly open. So that's a promising sign, potentially. Just remember this, though. Not to scare anyone, but anything is possible. Anything is possible, like Kevin Garnett said. I'm glad you think so, Ty. Yes, correct. Whatever time frame you're taking your signals on, you have to make sure your target profit-taking objectives are in line with that, right? If you're taking a 1 hour SFP, you don't want to necessarily target a weekly target, right? Especially if it's counter trend. Mayne, do you trade stocks at all? A little bit. A little bit. I trade a lot of Forex. What time zone do you use to color your candle closes? This is my time zone. PST, same time zone as LA. So 5 p.m. is the candle close. When do you expect another alt season? Not for a long time, bro. Not for a long time. I don't know. Like, if Bitcoin is going into a bear market, there will be no... It's hard to say it's not in a bear market. We're down 50% off all-time high. It's not going to be an alt season for a while. We had alt season already, guys. People always like, when alt season? It already happened. You missed it. You missed it. We had coins do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000% in a period of like 4 months. We had DeFi summer. We had 2 DeFi bubbles. At what point do you decide to move your stop loss to break even? I try to not fuck with my stops and take profits too much, but generally once price is moved away like at least 1 R from my entry, or to my first profit taking objective, I will move my stop to break even to make it a risk-free trade. Favorite ramen spot in Vancouver? Jinya Ramen. What are your trading resources? Sorry, one sec. Just chart time. Mayne, could you look at BTC before the pump and find an entry to long? Sure. So within this consolidation, right, where was an entry to get long? I see one right here. That would have been the long trigger. There's two. So before this pump happened, right, we're bullishly consolidating here. You want to be trading longs with the trend. So imagine this hasn't happened yet. There's a few different ways you could enter this. Swing failure pattern here. There's another swing failure pattern right here. There's another swing failure pattern here. Okay. So you could enter on any of those swing failure patterns, or no, did I just fuck up and lose all my levels? Oh, I hate the replay tool. Oh, you piece of shit motherfucker. I knew that was going to happen. Sorry, pardon my French, guys. Alternatively, right? This is an uptrend. You have a low, you have a high here. What is this? This is a higher low into a bullish order block, into the sweet spot. There's your bullish order block. There's your sweet spot. And it was an SFP. So there's your entry with your stop right here. Or once the SFP closes, you enter on the candle close and your stop goes below the SFP wick. Right? Another exact same setup right here. Low, high, higher low, swing failure pattern into a bullish order block, into your sweet spot. Right into your sweet spot, closed above, swing failure pattern, stop down there or stop below the SFP, boom, another entry, right? And if you want, you can zoom in. So on this 1 hour here, where we ran this low, you can zoom in. So within this entry, here's your order block, right? Low, high, higher low, swing failure pattern into the order block. You could zoom in and see if you get a lower time frame entry, right? Which you do right here. Boom. So within this, we're bullish now based on the hourly doing this. Now on the 15-minute, we have a low, a high, a higher low. Bullish order block. That's your OTE. Now you have a tighter risk reward right here. Target here, and then maybe leave some on. Right? You could also argue that we came in, you could also argue that the 15-minute SFP gives you a tighter entry, because here's the 15-minute SFP. It SFPs another low, and this. As soon as that candle closes, you can enter. Same shit over here, right? I'll do it again. I could have caught this live. I should have paid attention. Right? Here's your higher low. SFP on the hourly. Okay, so there's your hourly setup. Zoom in. What do you get on the 15-minute? We'll just do this. Do you get something on the 15-minute? You could argue that we came into this slightly tighter risk reward, right? But the 15-minute, I think even here it will be clear. You have a nice little breaker right here. There's your breaker play, right? Broke down, reclaim. This is also bullish market structure right here on the 10-minute. There's a low, there's a high, there's a higher low. There's a higher high, there's a higher low. There's a higher high, there's a higher low. Right into bullish order block, right? So you have the confluence of the hourly giving you a trigger. You can zoom in and you can get tighter, or you could have just entered it on the hourly. The hourly setup was perfectly fine, right? Either of these hourly setups here were perfectly valid, right here or here. Run a low into demand after making a higher high. That's textbook 101. And now I've lost all my friggin' levels and I want to commit suicide. I take that back. I don't want to. Do not ban me. Okay. Now I gotta go here. I gotta get the friggin' quarterly open back. And I've got to do this, and I've got to write quarterly open, and I've got to all my levels back now. Okay. How do you decide when to switch trend bias, i.e. weekly is bearish, but the daily appears bullish? So that's up to you, right? So what you have to pay attention to is the time frames that you want to execute on, because the weekly could be bearish, right? But before the weekly flips bullish, the daily will be bullish, the 12-hour will be bullish. The low time frames are going to shift first, but the daily could be bullish and the weekly could be bearish, and then the daily could flip bearish and go back in sync with the weekly. So you have to pick your high time frame, whether it's the weekly, the daily, the 4-hour, whatever it is. You've got to pick your high time frame. That's the time frame that you determine your bias on. Let's say it's the daily. Now, if the daily is bullish, all of the lower time frames that you go down to and look for trades, you want to be looking for longs because it's in line with your high time frame bias. Okay? Where do you suggest learning TA? From me, from Crypto Cred, Trader SZ. I've got a free Discord. I have hundreds of videos on YouTube. Cred has hundreds of videos. With your ICT experience, do you see times in the day that mirror repetitive moves like the New York kill zone, London opens, or does the 24-hour market follow different time zones? I do feel like kill zones work on Bitcoin, just not as well as on Forex. Forex is a lot more consistent with the timing in terms of kill zones and London open kill zone, New York open kill zone, Judas swings in the Asian range. Way more common with Forex than it is with crypto. Crypto kind of moves to its own tune, but the times do still work, and you can find setups during those periods. First time catching your stream, learning a lot. Thanks for explaining as much as you do. Thanks, Dougie. Hope you come back, man. You chart on UTC time zone? No, I chart on UTC -7, which is my time zone. Altcoins trying to get out of the gulag. When will you enter a new trade? Probably early this week, depending on what happens up at these levels. This is exactly where I want to pay attention, right? No trade for me here. These are my levels where I'm looking for a trade. So this is where I'm going to pay attention. If we get a long setup or a short setup, that's what I'm looking for. It's always the same time for everyone, just before Asia opens and the daily candle closes. Can you look at injective protocols, please? What is the ticker? You selling around 45K in case of dead cat bounce? Yeah, if we get up above like 45, 48K, I'm definitely selling. What does this index represent? I don't know what you mean. This is a wave 4 though. Elliott seems to have shown the way. I don't use Elliott waves, so I don't know. Got Rex shorting axe just before the pump. I feel your pain, brother. Okay. So hopefully everything is making sense here, guys. We got a couple minutes till the close, so I'm going to leave this open until the close. What do you think about the S&P, etc.? Do you think the market is topping, or do you care? Of course I care, because if the S&P unwinds, right? Like if this unwinds, you have to realize, Like, first of all, none of my shorts ever work on this fucking godforsaken instrument. This is not sustainable. And when this unwinds, and it will, I don't know how far it will dump or anything, but if this does anything like this, Bitcoin gets absolutely slaughtered. But I'm not going to try and pick the top on this thing, because every time I do, it just fucking goes higher. I talked about this last stream. I said if we come into here and then just launch to a new all-time high, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And that's exactly what we did, right? We just tested weekly support, boom. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do this now, right? But when this thing corrects, you have to realize there's a lot that can unwind here. This could unwind massively. And if that happens, if we get a COVID-style crash, a big crash, Bitcoin is an extremely risk-on, risky asset, and it will fucking nuke. So this could go higher, and Bitcoin could go higher, but when this eventually corrects, I think Bitcoin will eat a dick. I'm not French. I just speak French because I live in Canada. Okay, I'm so far behind on the chat, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, it looks toppy, but it's looked toppy for months. It looked toppy. It looked toppy here. This all looked like toppiness, right? Everyone was painting this kind of ascending, rising wedge, and it just keeps going. So I would rather wait for this thing to show me it's going to break down and then make sure that I've got dry powder ready in my cash stock account for if this drops. How do you deal with the pain of your stop getting run and then it pumps, meaning I was right? Well, if your stop got run before it pumped, you weren't right. You were wrong, right? So maybe you need to look back at your stop placement and maybe your stop was in the wrong place. But if you got stopped out, your idea was effectively wrong. That's why you got stopped. Parle un peu de français, j'ai envie d'entendre ta voix suave là. I haven't really spoken French in a long time. I used to be quite fluent, but I haven't spoken in ages. I used to speak it in school. Okay. Do you ever scalp on lower time frames less than the 4 hour? Absolutely, I do. Any advice? Treat it the same as any time frame, right? Everything is fractal, so you just need to have, in my opinion, 3 time frames, right? The daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, right? So this is your high time frame for bias. This is your level time frame for key levels. Key levels from here too, but key levels, this is your execution time frame. It could be the hourly, the 15-minute, and the 5-minute. This is your time frame for your bias, this is your time frame for your key levels, and then this is your execution time frame. It all works the same as long as you're doing this top-down analysis. So if this is bullish, you want to be looking for bullish setups on the lower time frames, right? So if the 5-minute is in a downtrend, but the hourly is bullish, you want to be waiting for this to put in bullish market structure to start getting into longs, right? C'est pas mal ça, Monsieur Mayne. That's good. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? I think you mean voulez-vous coucher avec moi? All right, guys. So we had the daily close. We closed back above, or the weekly close and the daily close. We closed back above the quarterly open. So this is exactly what we talked about at the start of the stream. This is now we're at an area of interest for me, right? Here was not an area of interest, so I wasn't doing anything. Now we are. We're watching here. If we get a trade set up that forms here, I'm going to try and take it. I'll do my best to post it on Twitter and in Discord, right? But if no trade setup forms, right? If I miss it, I miss it. But I have key levels where I look for setups. We have now approached an area where I'm interested in looking for a setup. So I'm going to be watching for price to make some sort of move around here. this is the area that I'm watching. Quarterly open to the mid-range. If we get some sort of breakdown, I'll short it. If we consolidate up here, I'll look to long for another leg up. And Ethereum, same idea, right? Ethereum's just trading slightly below. I would like to see it push, but look at Ethereum next to Bitcoin right now. Look at Bitcoin. Look at Ethereum. Right? What is more bullish right now? Right? Bitcoin. Bitcoin is more bullish because Ethereum BTC, right, is going down. Bitcoin dominance is strong. You know. Okay. Hey, Mayne, which of your videos would you recommend for the best explanation of order blocks? Dude, I have no idea. In a lot of my old streams, I go over order blocks like in every video. You just got to go and watch a bunch of them. I'm sorry. I don't have a specific one where I teach order blocks. BTC getting rejected at the mid-range. Way too early to tell, my boy. We dumping. What are you guys talking about? The candle just closed. Also, any particular reason besides time management that you prefer? I used to work a full-time job when I learned how to trade. So I like the daily and the 4 hour because I didn't have to stare at the chart all day. That's what I did when I learned. But yeah, I like the low time frames cool too. Nice biceps, man. Shut up. Stop it. Stop it. But keep going. Tell me more. Right? Do I look jacked? Do I look jacked? Maybe I'll stream shirtless if it gets me more followers. Ugh. Okay. Yo, not a trading related question, but how deep are you in the DeFi farming space and ecosystem? Not deep at all, not deep enough. If you have any alpha for how I can be making money, fucking DM me and let me know. I'm French and I appreciate these great live streams from over side of the ocean. Oh, thank you. Merci beaucoup, mon ami. Thanks for dropping to Altcoin Psycho. Yeah, enjoy. Go check out AP stream. What's with the Amazon Bezos news? Looks like real, but Kobe tweeting that's fake. I haven't seen it yet. If BTC trades sideways, will altcoins pump some more? Maybe. Stop focusing on fucking altcoins, guys. That's a problem people have with alts. That's why I'm starting this altcoin video series. People are so addicted to alts. When alts, for the most part, alts get slaughtered all the time. There's very small periods of time where altcoins do well. And then the rest of the time, they get absolutely slaughtered. And the problem is people are attached to them because they're invested. They think it's cheaper and easier to make money. If you're trading, who gives a shit what the asset is? All you want is volatility. You don't need alts to pump. The reason you have this attitude is likely that you're bag holding and you're down and you need it to go up, right? Focus on the chart that looks the most bullish and that gives you the best risk-adjusted setup, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, or an altcoin. The beauty of altcoins is you can look at the alt BTC chart and the alt Ethereum chart, and you can find out by just looking at those two charts whether you're better off trading those altcoins or just trading BTC and Ethereum themselves. Shooting star on the 6-month chart. Yeah, I guess. Are you on test, bro? No, I've never done steroids. I'm not that big, man. Hot tub stream, maybe. Where can I get some neck implants? Thailand. Any girls in here? I doubt it. I doubt there's any girls. Hell yeah, man. I might DM you on Twitter later. Yeah, have at it, buddy. And even when they do well, you're probably in the wrong ones. Exactly. I'm literally releasing a video on altcoins this week, and an entire series. I'm going to be doing a weekly video where I just cover alts. I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks that I use to invest and trade alts, how to spot when altcoins might run, and just a bunch of tips. I think it's going to be very valuable for you guys. What am I benching these days? I don't know. I haven't done a max bench in a while. Last time I checked, probably like 235 maybe, not that big. I have long arms and I'm tall, so benching's hard. Hi, Nina. Oh, maybe there are some girls listening. I can't understand why. Sorry if I've been rude. The only alt that you need to buy right now is ECC. What are your thoughts on Axie? I mean, I'm not going to try and short it. Check the input device on Discord. I know, I think I have some issues. I don't know if the Amazon thing is real, guys. What's the link for the Discord? I will drop it in the chat here, guys. All right, I just dropped the link to Discord in the YouTube chat if you're interested. So Notorious Wolf, check, or Notorious Wall, check the YouTube chat. Oh, there are girls here. What's up, ladies? How's it going? Sorry, that was so lame. Do you ever watch certain time frames, like the New York Open and the London Open session as people trade Forex? Yes, I do. Not the New York Open because I'm always asleep, but I will watch the London Open. How are the lady boys in Thailand, brother? I've never been to Thailand, so I can't tell you. I imagine they have penises, though. How much to shave off the stash? I'll do it for free. I literally was gonna shave this morning. Alts are my life. Ouch. What are you watching for right now? All the stuff I talked about at the start of the stream. Damn, man, you might be the most undervalued crypto streamer out there. I really appreciate that. Thank you. What is up to all the females? Jesus, I didn't know. The slug, but bro, let me live, man. I haven't shaved my face in 2 weeks. This is all the facial hair I can grow, and I'm 31. I'm 31. Look at this shit. This is it. 31 years old. 31. Smooth as a fucking baby's bottom. Fucking bullshit. Bullshit. All right. I think I'm going to, Jesus, several females watching the stream. I think I'm going to end the stream here, guys. Jesus, look at all these ladies. Well, I'm sorry for being sexist and assuming that only dudes watch my stream. All right, guys, I'm gonna end the stream here. If you guys got any questions, you know how to find me. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on YouTube in the comments. Join the Discord. Ask questions there. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I love doing these videos. So I will be releasing an altcoin video within the next 48 to 72 hours. Okay, so it's going to be an altcoin focused video, and I'm going to be doing one of those a week at minimum, maybe two. So look forward to that. Please like the tweets, retweet the tweets, share the video, like the video. It really helps me out. I'm really trying to grow the YouTube channel. So if you have, if you wanna connect with me, Trader Mayne on YouTube, Trader Mayne on Twitter, Trader Mayne on Discord, hit me up. I'm back from my trip. I was gone for 3 weeks, so I'm gonna be back, more active, posting lots of videos, lots of content. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this as usual. Bitcoin breaking up. Let's wait and see, right? This is our area of interest. So let's wait and see what happens here. If it just fucking launches through here and then retests, that's a long, right? But I doubt that happens. I think it's much more likely that we consolidate up here and then potentially get a setup. But let's see. We'll wait and see. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. No, it's not a hickey. It's fucking birthmark. Leave me alone. I got a fight with I've gotten an argument with a vacuum. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys so much. Love you guys. I'm happy to be home. I can't wait to be posting more videos, more content. We're going to fucking crush the rest of the year. We're all going to make filthy amounts of money. We're all going to get super hot girlfriends and boats and shit. It's going to be crazy. All right. I will chat you guys all later. Hope everyone has a good night. Good